Thursday morning. We'll get some football back tonight with the Lions and the Packers. And then the next two primetime games you are going to see will be the Jets and the Giants. The Jets on Sunday night. Apparently Taylor Swift is going to be there. So this nightmare scenario that we were painting for the Jets is going to happen. And the Giants better beat the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to be. And this is probably not good news for Giants fans because everything I root for turns to crap. But I'm going to be the biggest Giants fan in the world on Monday night because I don't believe the Jets are going to turn this thing around, and I don't want two irrelevant football teams around here this year. Can't deal with it, can't take it, don't want to even think about two 1-5 teams, which could happen. You got a trade in the NBA that, of course, doesn't benefit the Knicks. They never do. Another one of the 10 million superstars that are available out there that the Knicks never get their hands on. And, of course, these two baseball teams are sputtering to the end, except for Garrett Cole, of course, who is going to win the Cy Young. And we'll see if the Yankees actually make some changes this offseason after missing the playoffs. Good morning, Boomer. How are you?
All right. Good morning, G. It's great to see you this morning. It seems like you're in a very good mood this morning.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why, but maybe you're playing golf today. Is that what's going on?
I am. I also, the gout that I had the last couple of days, I got some medicine from the great doctor. Dr. Richard Rowe, who's I actually met through the great Joe D.
Okay.
And I went to see him, and he took care of that, and I'm walking around like a normal person again. So.
Ever since you've met me,
yeah,
you've met a lot of my friends.
Yep.
Right?
That's right.
And I've met a lot of your friends.
That's true.
And a lot of your friends have been very kind to me.
But they could do nothing for you.
No, and our foundation. No,
Yeah.
They have done a lot.
Well, Sal Graziano did with the bike tour. Yes, he did.
Yeah. No, but a lot of people in Savo are very supportive of us and everything, and I appreciate that.
Yep.
And what I think I have given you with the extension of my friends is pretty much a guy in whatever area you may need a guy.
Yeah, that's very true.
Because I got a lot of friends that got a lot of guys.
You absolutely.
And like my friend Pete Abitante from the NFL always says, "Boom, you're a really wealthy man, but not when it comes to money. It comes to you through human capital."
Yeah, human resources, but not the type of human resources that we normally think of.
No,
just like humans.
You need a guy. I got a
resources. Guy. Yeah, no, absolutely.
We got a guy. We pretty much have a guy for everything.
Yeah, and I feel like I don't abuse these things. It's only when I really need someone to step up. You know, right. I'm like, you know what? Let me just throw this out there today and see if someone wants to help me out. If they don't, it's fine.
My guys will always help you out. Every single one of them. And by the way, Rob Capone says your next set of high noons at the Portly Village are on him because you stood up for him yesterday.
You mean day chasers, of course.
Or day chasers, or whatever the hell you were drinking.
Right. Yep. The day chasers. Come on, everybody thinks high noons, but it's always day chaser.
Well, I think that's what he was saying.
Yes, that is right. Well, no, I appreciate that. And Rob Capone is he's just one of those old-time guys, just
old-time guy, right?
Old-time. He'll be there to have your back at any point.
100%. So he's a South Shore guy.
Yeah, of course. I mean, not that I was about to fight anybody that night, but if I did, Rob Capone would have been right there, had my back.
He had an unbelievable junior hockey career, and if you don't know about it, he'll tell you about it.
Yeah, no, I've heard. Yes.
All right. So anyway, we all got guys. Now I have a guy that was telling me yesterday about this Damian Lillard trade. That's why I brought it up before we got off the air.
Yes, you did.
And remember we were talking about it was going to be either the Celtics, it was going to be the Raptors, or it was going to be the Miami Heat. We all felt like it was going to be in the Eastern Conference. There's no way the Knicks were going to be able to get him. And lo and behold, it's the Milwaukee Bucks that end up with him. It's an amazing trade for them. Now, here's the thing. I think he's only played about 85 games the last 2 years. I mean, I know that the name and the reputation is beyond reproach. Everybody seems to love him in the NFL. I mean, the NBA. Everybody seems to really respect this game. But I just wonder, about the age, the injuries, the problems, and maybe it won't be so much on his shoulders because he'll be able to play with Giannis. And now all of a sudden, people are reacting around the league like they are by far the number one team in the league because of the reputations and because it seems like the Bucks are trying to placate Giannis Antetokounmpo to sign an extension to stay there.
Well, of course they had to because Giannis went out and said, I need to win another championship, whether it's here or somewhere else. I mean, he's been sending these messages about the commitment to the organization, and clearly the Bucks answered all those questions for him. Antetokounmpo, I love Damian Lillard. I understand what you're saying. I can't dispute the age. I can't dispute the money. I can't dispute the injuries. But I've always loved this guy. I've always admired him. He is not, and I know he kind of forced his way out of Portland, but he was always someone who was loyal to that team for a very long time. He just didn't want to go through a rebuild in his 30s again, and I can't blame him because he wants to win. I mean,
they all want to win. Like Devontae Adams wants to win with the Vegas Raiders. Everybody wants to win, and everybody wants it, teams to make it easy for them to win.
Yeah, he was the guy that I wanted desperate. I thought that him coming here for the Knicks would have been great. I mean, and I think, a lot of people watch the NBA, I understand it's through highlights these days, so it's not like you don't know who he is, but playing out on the West Coast for many years, you forget how good he is, especially in the shadow of what the Golden State Warriors have been doing out there and Steph Curry shooting. I mean, Damian Lillard is right there. I mean, he's not Steph Curry, but he's behind him, and he is going to be looked at when his career is over as one of the best shooters we have seen in this era. So I was bummed, and I don't want this to be, because you said I'm in a good mood. I am in a pretty good mood today. I don't think this is a negative take as much as it is a realistic take.
Yeah,
so,
no, I
and you know how desperately I want the New York Knicks to win. But the way I felt yesterday after seeing Damian Lillard be acquired by the Milwaukee Bucks is that the chances of the Knicks winning an NBA title in the next 6, 7, 8 years has now gotten exponentially harder. And this is why. One, you didn't miss out on Damian Lillard. You also have now missed out if Giannis bitched his way out of there, because this is something that the Knicks are always attached to. The next superstar bitches his way out of someplace. So now Giannis is going to stay there. So that is now off the table. You have Damian Lillard and Giannis in the Eastern Conference. So basically now Joel Embiid to me is not the answer. The Sixers and the Knicks are not going to make that deal. So you look around the landscape of the league. There's one guy that could put the Knicks over the top. One guy that could at some point be available, and who the hell knows if he will.
All right, time out. Can I guess?
Go ahead and guess. Yeah.
I like to guess. I love guessing these types of things.
Sure.
All right, can you just give me what conference is he in? The Eastern Conference or the Western Conference?
He's in the Western Conference.
One guy.
Who's actually in the NBA right now that I think there might be a shred. What do you mean
he's in the NBA right now?
Of realistic, because there's another side of this I'm going to talk about.
All right, okay.
There's only two people. One is a hypothetical person, and the other is a actual real person who plays in the NBA.
It's a real person that plays in the NBA. Is the guy, so he has to be, if you're talking about the guy, he's got to be a superstar.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And is he unhappy where he is right now?
Debatable, but
debatable.
I could paint a scenario very easily with some of his teammates and how he would be that person who would be very unhappy.
Under 30 or over 30?
Under 30.
Would you say big man or athletic man?
I wouldn't. He's not your typical big man. Some people have gotten on him for being a little too big, but he is not your typical big man.
Oh, there's no way he's coming here. There's no way. I know who it is.
All right, well, tell me who it is.
I think I know who it is.
Well, tell me who it is.
He's not coming here.
Well, I want to hear.
He's not coming here.
I'm not saying that he is. Just tell me if we're talking about the same guy.
Are we talking about the Joker?
No, we're not talking about him. I don't think he's coming here.
Right,
There's
Nikola
no way.
Jokic.
No, it's not. No,
so it's not him.
No, it's the guy would be Luka Doncic. That would be the guy. Just because you still got Kyrie Irving down there, I could see him going, I don't want to deal with this anymore. I want to be a superstar in New York, and I want to play with Jalen Brunson again. I want to play with Jalen Brunson again. I don't want to hear about extensions or anything. Everything just evaporates in the NBA. I don't want to hear about any of that. Doesn't matter. That would be the only guy, and I know that it's unlikely, but this is my point, that I feel like with this deal yesterday, that it's going to be damn near impossible for the Knicks to win a title for the next 6 or 7 years when you feel like you were close, because the only way that they could do it is some miracle acquisition of Luka Doncic, who wants to play with Jalen Brunson again because those guys are very good together, or they somehow draft a guy, which is even a bigger miracle, who turns into the next Jokic in the second round or late in the first, and they just stumble upon that. So that's my hypothetical thing. So
I never thought about Doncic, only because they had to go to him and say, look, we have an opportunity to give Kyrie Irving an extension. Are you okay with that? He had to say yes to that.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. And, of course, he forced Kristaps Porzingis out of there because they didn't get – bottom line is Mark Cuban, he confers with Luka Doncic on what to do with the organization.
And Mark Cuban spends more time here than he does in Dallas, for God's sake.
Yeah,
so
probably.
He hates the Knicks. You know he hates the Knicks, just like Danny Ainge hates the Knicks.
No, I know. I mean,
he will do everything in his unmitigated power to keep that superstar player away from the Knicks.
And don't get me wrong, I agree with that. My whole point is that yesterday, because I thought Lillard could have been a possibility once the Miami Heat thing broke down, I thought he could be for the Knicks. And then also, if the Bucks didn't get Lillard and Giannis was getting upset, I could have seen him end up here some way or forcing himself here. But now Lillard isn't here. Giannis isn't coming.
So that is like the worst case scenario that just slapped us right all across the face.
And if you think, well, what about Joel Embiid is going to be upset? You think the Sixers and the Knicks are going to make a deal? You think that the Philadelphia 76ers are going to sit there and watch Joel Embiid win a championship with the New York Knicks? What are you, crazy?
Yeah, that's another team that hates the Knicks. And by the way, they were a team that did trade with the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah, but it's different, man, with the Nets and the Knicks. You know that.
Yeah.
And so now what is it? I mean, is it James Harden? What is it? They've used restraint recently, but I mean, it gets to a point where it's like, okay, you have this window, you got these picks that are basically, we keep talking about these picks that they have, but they're unprotected picks and they're essentially useless. So I don't know. I'm annoyed at the spot that they're in. It could be worse. It has been worse. But this is another guy. I mean, I don't know how many times we've said this. Since 2010, think of every single player outside of Steph Curry who's ever had a name in the NBA has been linked to the Knicks at one point or another.
Carmelo Anthony.
Well, yeah, he came here. But think about LeBron James, Carmelo
Amari
Anthony, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Giannis, Joel Embiid, Luka Doncic, Damian, all these guys, Kawhi Leonard, all these guys at some point have been linked to the Knicks one way or another.
I think it's just media. I think it's New York media nonsense.
But they never. But that's once again hammering home the point. It never happens.
I have to tell you,
ever.
When I brought this up yesterday, I never even considered the Knicks in the ballpark for Damian Lillard.
I did a couple of weeks ago because the Julius Randle changing of the agencies and the whole Lillard thing being out there.
See, this is the whole thing.
I was putting two and two together.
You're New York media. See, this is what happens. New York media jumps to conclusions.
Well,
I try not to jump to conclusions. I remember when you brought that up, and I was like, man, that would be unbelievable. But
want to know why I need to? Because I'm grasping at the sky for some sort of positivity around here, especially after the Aaron Rodgers thing went to hell. I'm thinking, okay, well, what's the next thing we can get excited about? What is it?
Ranger hockey, baby. Ranger hockey.
Yeah.
And I'm even ambivalent about that because I still haven't gotten Game 5 and Game 6 out of my system.
All right. So that's where we're at right
They
now.
still have to earn my respect. And, with the noise in front of the net with the new coach and all this other crap, I got to get used to that. But I'm totally ambivalent about this. I told my hockey buddies yesterday, I'm like, I don't know. I'm just not excited. I watched the Islander Ranger game the other night. There's no excitement. There's no juice. There's nothing. And it all stems back from me personally. I'm not talking about Ranger fans. I can't speak to all Ranger fans. But it all stems back to the ugliness of the way that it all ended last year and to who it ended with. And when you see those young players wearing the black and the red and flying up and down the ice and making plays, and you see our players who are supposed to be doing that, not doing that.
We were supposed to come out of this.
Schmid?
Kira Schmid. Yeah, we were supposed to come out of this. Remember, we were supposed to come out of this?
I can't come out of it.
No, I'm saying all of New York sports was supposed to come out of this hibernation. I mean,
Eddie, you're an idiot. I'm going to come in there and I'm going to slap you around because you know what? That's why I'm ambivalent to what's going on right now with the Rangers.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I've never. I got to tell you, I felt this way in past years.
Yeah.
They've had a good team. They rebuilt. I got mad at them when they sent that letter out, when Jeff Gorton sent that letter out and everything. I was all pissed off. And then, it took us 3 years to get going. We had these great draft picks, and I don't know if they're being mishandled like Zach Wilson has been mishandled. I don't know. I have no idea. All I know is that those 2 games, 5 and 6 last year against the Devils, were a disgrace. Effing disgrace.
Yeah. Yep. Well,
now I sound like Joe Beningo.
They got the coach fired.
Well, I again, you could fire. They fire coaches left and right around here. I mean, it's like ridiculous.
Yeah. I know. I mean, and you have more guys that are getting on the. You might have two managers here with Buck Showalter and Aaron Boone who could not be there next year. I could very easily make that case.
It all comes down to season ticket holders, man. It all comes down to like whether or not they renew and are they excited about the team? Do they see a good future? I mean, I don't know. I think right here, like think about what Steve Cohen did at the beginning of the year. And all the pomp and circumstance, and the Jets with the pomp and circumstance, and then the Rangers with the pomp and circumstance.
Yeah. I mean, what's the point?
By the way, the Islanders played a preseason game last night. You probably didn't even know because it wasn't even on TV. What were you, minor league city around here?
Well,
you can't even. I couldn't even watch the game last night. I'm like, what is that?
It's preseason hockey.
You know what, yeah, but you know what that tells me? It tells me like money's tight. People don't want to be showing preseason games on TV. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think you could stream it somewhere on Islanders.com or something. I wasn't doing that.
Which you could have if you wanted to. At least it was available.
But I want to see my son-in-law play. Actually, it was in a lineup list.
There's no point in predicting sports any longer. There's none.
Especially around here.
I thought about this. I mean, I know we're going to do it, and we make picks and things like that, but there really is no point because if anything tells you that nobody has any idea what's going to happen, it's going to be Sunday night with the Chiefs and the Jets. Because I remember that game. We talked about this. We were like, you got your golf tournament on Monday that we're going to be at, and we talked about taking the day off. I was like, we can't take the day off because the Chiefs play the Jets. This is before the Aaron Rodgers injury. Chiefs play the Jets on Sunday night. How are we going to miss that show?
God, yeah,
Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about. Joe Beningo called in over the summer and said he wanted tickets, or was hosting over the summer. He wanted tickets to Chiefs Jets because he wants to take his 10-year-old grandson to watch two of the greatest quarterbacks of all time face off one another. Sean Winters calls in, I'm going to take care of Joe Beningo and the because we're going to see Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers. Instead, what do we have?
We got Taylor Swift.
Exactly. The Kansas City Chiefs rolling in with Travis Kelce banging Taylor Swift and Zach Wilson starting for the Jets. Who would have ever thought that? Ever in a million years? I thought that.
I have to say, though, it's kind of fun because I feel like we're all a part of this new budding relationship. And, it's like two great young people and finding each other. And
the fact that the Jets had to answer these questions yesterday, this is such an opportunity for them.
Yeah.
If you want to turn your season around, seriously, this right here, this could catapult you. Better than any cheesy-ass Rob Saleh meme Instagram speech that he can give his team to try to fire him up. Having everybody talking about Taylor Swift, having guys like that were in the locker room yesterday. I don't know if you saw this article. They asked every single goddamn player about Taylor Swift showing up to this game. That would piss me off to the point that I would put together the best performance I ever had in my life. Like, that's all anybody's talking about? We were supposed to be the team that everybody's talking about. Now we're talking about the tight end's girlfriend?
Yes.
I don't give a crap who the hell she is. Come out there and beat the piss out of them. No. Honestly, we're unkillable. Playoffs with Zach. No, but honestly, this is where you get pissed. This is where you get pissed off. Sauce Gardner's answering questions about Taylor Swift. He goes, she ain't coming for me. That's what he said. She's coming for Travis. What are you asking me about this for?
I told you Monday morning. We came in here. I said, forget this game. What about next week when she decides to come to the Meadowlands because she's a New Yorker?
I would be so pissed off.
This is going to be unbelievable.
If I were that Jeff Ulbrich, I'd be mother effing Taylor Swift up and down and be like, you know what? I'd be ruin her day. Ruin her day.
It's not her fault.
Yeah, well, I don't care whose fault it is. You got to draw motivation from somewhere. You see this video that's been going viral about Tom Brady talking about how he turned everybody into an enemy, even when they weren't enemies, and he made stuff up to make them crazy?
Yes, yeah.
That's the greatest winner we've ever seen in the league. That's what the Jets need to do.
And remember, he used to slam his helmet down. He'd fight with teammates and coaches on the sideline. That was just to get him back into the game mentally. That was to get him from the like the malaise that sometimes takes over in the middle of a game. Like, because you're not always out there. You're sitting on the bench, and you're sitting on the bench for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, and then you got to get yourself back into the game mentally. But
I mean, just think about this. Like, okay, who was the Madonna's big back in the day? Like, think about you in the Bengals locker room. Let's just say, create a scenario. You guys got off to a bad start, and things aren't going well, and somebody on the Pittsburgh Steelers is dating Madonna, and you got to sit there during that week to have these reporters come in and ask you about that. I would be livid. absolutely like, shut up. Who gives a rat's ass?
Yeah.
We're 1-2. Our season is falling apart. Our leader is in a rehab facility in Malibu telling us not to fight on the sidelines. And you got the balls to walk in here and ask me a Taylor goddamn Swift? Blow it out and ass.
I'm just telling you. I don't know if you've seen this, but I mean, all over Instagram,
Of course I've seen it.
It is incredible. I mean, this thing is huge.
I know. This is why they need to
like
use
insane.
this. This is why this has to be their motivation.
But I'm
you
just
want to be the
saying-
laughing stock? You want to be the next page in the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce story? You want to take the headlines back yourself? Because basically, you're playing the role of the Washington Generals this week. That's what you're doing. That's what everybody thinks. Everybody thinks that this is just the next phase of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Here they come into New York and squash the Jets and leave.
Did you see the internet video of the Bucks and Eagles game on Monday night? So had Travis Kelce as the center. Jason Kelce as the center. Jalen Hurts lined up as the quarterback, and to his right was the running back, DeAndre Swift. Kelce, Hurts, Swift.
Ooh,
Did you guys see that?
I get
You
it.
saw that, Al, right? Because I know you.
I did, yeah.
Uh-oh, so I guess you're trying to tell me.
How about that?
I don't know, but all I can tell you is we are in the midst of something.
Oh, it would make me sick if I
That
were a
is just
Jet.
amazing.
It'd make me sick.
When I saw her at the game on Sunday, and then thought ahead a week that she was most likely going to come to the Meadowlands and MetLife. Look at her, and to be there at the Jet game to support her new man. I mean, it is just amazing.
Listen, I bet,
it was awkwardly cheering for a touchdown that didn't matter.
Yeah, 41-0. Yeah, I mean, it's really kind of classless on her part to be celebrating that much, up 41 points. But
I'm happy to be a part of it all and be in the midst of it because I feel like
I bet the Chiefs big time -8.5 when that came out. But I'm telling you right now, this week I am rooting harder than I've ever rooted for these New York teams. I am so. I cannot stand this whole thing. And if I was just trying to I can never put myself in the shoes of Sauce Gardner, but I was trying to think yesterday when he was answering that question, like someone actually had the balls to walk up to Sauce Gardner and ask him about Travis Swift and Taylor. I mean,
Travis Swift.
Taylor
change
Swift
his name and take her name because she makes
probably
more money.
Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift. I'd be like, get out of my face.
I think
you
it's
loser.
beautiful.
Get out of my face with these questions.
I think it's great when pop culture and sports intersect.